Now let's bring the city council meeting for April 9th to the board of order. Please rise for pledge of allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Mayor Carter,
Here.
Deputy Mayor Swatman,
Present.
Councilmember Baldwin. Here. Councilmember Fullerton.
Here.
Councilmember Hugler. Here. Councilmember McClymons
Here.
and Councilmember Rowe.
Here. All right. There are no agenda modifications, but we do have an announcement from Councilmember Fullerton.
Hang on, let me turn this.
Or is you?
Maybe. All right, so I attended the Communities for Families meeting on Thursday, April 4th. That meeting we can attend. It's the first Thursday of each month at the school district office, or you can attend online. It goes from 3 to 4:30. They are gearing up for the community summit. And we are having a huge competition with Sumner City Council and Mayor. In order for us to win, we actually have to count the items that we bring in this year. This year, last year it was like pajamas. This year, we're looking for hygiene products. We need to figure out where we can set up a collection bin here at the Justice Center or somewhere. We need, echo. Okay, we need hygiene items like shampoo and conditioner, toothbrushes, toothpaste, feminine needs products, brushes, combs, deodorant, filled toiletry bags. Laundry soap is a big need. We do have some homeless people and in Sumner and Bonnie Lake School District, and they really need to have these items. And so that's what this collection is for. They will be presenting the award at the Sumner or at the Community Summit, which is on April 30th. And there's different times depending on whether you want to attend classes. If you want to go to the dinner, I believe that starts around 6. So please let the clerk's office know if you wish to attend any of those meetings. That's all I had for that one.
Awesome, thank you. Mary Hubler.
I have a question on that.
Yeah.
How do we get that out to the community to let them know that we're collecting this?
Hopefully it can go on the website. It should be on the CFF website. That was another reason I knew there was going to be a lot of people watching online tonight and a lot of people here since we have the interview. So I was hoping to kind of get everybody to spread the news that we need hygiene items.
Mr. Rotopich, I'm sure you can get something to, some way to collect them here, and then we can put it on the website and social media.
And I believe
Mayor.
Carla Lewis as well was from the community court. She was going to be helping us with that as well, trying to get out information.
Thank you. All right.
Mayor, it's Jerry.
Yes.
There's no image online, so I don't know if they want to take a moment to figure that out, or we just see a bunch of names.
Nice. Bye. Do, 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 do.
So for Candace, I just see a black image. It says Candace in a black image, and that's normally what we see your the city council, but it just says Candace and it's pure black. It doesn't even say KB or anything.
That's a good, yeah. Looking sharp.
You know, I wouldn't be able to figure it out. Yeah, computers. You're a computer brain, aren't you?
I hear Councilmember Baldwin. Welcome
Done a
back.
few of them.
Oh, hey.
You made it. I'm a.
There you
Hey.
guys are.
Where's the
Now
owl?
we see you.
It's like, "Hey."
Hey.
She did make it.
Thank you.
Okay,
in one piece.
I did.
thank you. Thank you for letting us know. All right, we have some appointments. Madam Clerk.
This is AB 2420, motion 2420. The council motion would be to confirm the mayor's reappointment of Planning Commissioners Grant Sullum to position number 3 and Debbie Strauss Boyd to position number 4, and the appointment of Sarah Wood to Planning Commission position number 6, all with terms expiring on April 6, 2027.
Thank you. Second, any discussion? Okay. Take a vote. All in favor, say aye.
I.
Those opposed? Very good, thank you. So appointed. Seeing that there is no public hearing, we'll go on to citizen comments. So this is your time to address the council on city business. The city will now enable the video and microphone for those attending virtually. You will need to turn on your video and microphones on your end if you're wanting to be seen or heard. We'll start with those who are here in person and move to virtual comments afterwards. You have 5 minutes. State your name and address for the record, please.
Council Mayor, I'm Dan Decker, past council member at 247th Street, East Bonnie Lake, Washington. 80 years of fluoride and the jab for a lifetime. For almost 80 years, the government has lied to us the fools, that keep voting them highly intelligent tyrants into office. There are 16 different vaccines given to our children and a tub of fluoride for them and us to drink. How lucky can we be? The government is giving us something. It's not luck at all. It's a process to make us stupid, sick, and obstinate to the government. Most important, the CDC, WHO, and the FDA are not your friends. They have an agenda, and it's about control. Negative cognitive and neurodevelopmental effects for humans are found in all 16 vaccines and fluoride. At birth, we don't have a chance for the last 80 years. Fact is, the U.S. Surgeon General has been silent concerning the water fluoridation in the United States. The 16 vaccines pumped into your children take an even greater toll on their well-being than fluoride does. Fluoride is killing you. What heavy metals and our poison are found in vaccines? Ethanol, mercury, aluminum, arsenic, cadmium, chromium, barium, lead, mercury, selenium, thallium, and zinc are found in vaccines. Yet, our dearly beloved government denies these poisons are in these vaccines. Don't forget, fluoride is in our drinking water for the purpose of making us docile and stupid. Fluoride is a neurotransmitter disruptor. What does fluoride have to do with autism? Everything, I believe. Every one of the poisons mentioned will and do cause neurobrain disorders, including fluoride. What is autism? It's known to be a neurobrain dysfunction disorder. There you have it, 16 deadly vaccines and fluoride poisoned drinking water. Any person who believes the above information is not about government control, you should go get another COVID-19 vaccine. Boy, that stuff will kill you. Thank you very much, Council.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else?
I'm the senior librarian at the library. Not here as a council candidate tonight, but here to give space about library. First, we have a new service that I'm really proud to announce. This is a partnership with MultiCare and Marybridge Children's Hospital. We've started to offer a monthly WIC clinic on site in our meeting room on the second Monday of every month from 1 to 4 p.m. Our first session of doing that was actually yesterday. For those of you who aren't familiar with that acronym, WIC is Women, Infant, and Children Nutrition Program. And it offers information, screenings, and support for local mothers, children, babies, and families. A lot of the services that we offer at the library are walk-in. This one is a little bit different. It's for existing WIC customers, but we have had a service gap in our area since 2020 when they closed down a clinic in this area. So we're really proud to be playing a role to welcome that service back to our area. This week, if you have kids, you know it is spring break week. So the library has been stepping up our programming during this time. This morning, we had a very cute little story time out of the community garden where the kids got to plant a seed. We had about 40 kids there. And this afternoon, we did a character drawing program for teens that had about 10 teens come with way more artistic talent than I have. So that was really fun. A couple more programs that we've got coming up this week that I want to highlight. Tomorrow from 2 to 4 p.m., our regular meeting of our Bonnie Lake Children's Kindness Club is going to be making seed bombs for local pollinators with local wildflower seeds. And then on Saturday, we're actually having some of our daffodil princesses come in and read with the kids. There'll be photo ops and the chance for the kids to make their own little crown and feel like a prince or a princess as well. The library is closed this Thursday for an all-staff day, which we haven't had since 2016. So we're all looking forward to that. But we don't want anyone to come in expecting to see library services and miss out on us that day. So I'm trying to spread the word about that. And then the last thing I have is actually wearing a different hat than the library. In addition to that, I'm also a member of the Bonnie Lake to Holly Rotary Club. We've been noticing how bad the hill has been looking lately. Lots of trash on the side of it, right? So we are hosting a cleanup in celebration of Earth Day. It's going to be Saturday, April 20th from 9 a.m. until noon. If people want to sign up ahead of time, we're really encouraging that so we know how many supplies we're going to need. You're welcome to reach out to me, or the Rotary email address is bltrotaryclub@gmail.com. Or if you just decide that day that you want to join us, you're welcome to come down and meet us in the Winco parking lot at 8:30 and we'll get you set up for that. We really hope to make a dent in some of the trash that we've been seeing on the side of the road that day. Thank you.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Council
Hello.
members, I'm Lori Charbonneau. I live at 7214 194th Avenue East. I'm mentioning, thanking you guys for doing the signs on 194th for the no parking. We've had a lot of traffic on our road in the last few years, and I want to thank you for that. I guess my concern is, will there be no towing signs underneath it? Because it just says that it is permit only on our street. So there is one at the start of the street, one towards the end of the street, and then one on the other side. So there's not a whole lot of them for the amount of traffic that parks on our street. So I'm concerned about that, but I do thank you for finally getting them. That's wonderful. My second thing is about the boat launch. We're wondering if the security will be checking permits, locking up the gates afterwards. A lot of people launch their boats and they don't lock the gate back up afterwards and stuff. So a lot of people that don't have permits are using it without paying for it, which we're all paying for our permits that we use. The security last year wasn't real, I don't know. I don't want to say beneficial, but they slacked a lot. They were on their phones, they were reading, they weren't doing jobs that we thought they should be doing for the amount that they were earning. My last thing is about the third dock. Will the third dock be coming back? We could really use that for the fact of people bring their boats in, pick up people at the dock and go back out. So it's hard for when people are trying to launch their boats, when these boats are coming in and trying to drop off their people and stuff or pick up their people. The other thing is Sea-Doos tend to tie up to those docks too, and it's hard to get around them to launch our boats. And then the third thing, I thought the fishermen, it'd be great for them to have the third dock because you're straddling around their, lines and everything when you're trying to get your boats in too. So third dock would be very, very beneficial to all of us of using the lake. And my last thing is our neighborhood, because we're a cul-de-sac and this new road that's supposed to be coming up by the skate park and around by our houses in the back there. We definitely are voting no on having that road go through. I've noticed there's a lot of medical response that goes down west, I think it's West Taps Highway, and they'll have to come not through the three-way intersection, but they'll have to come up that road and around through a roundabout and then down the road and out. So the response time will be longer because of that. So thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. I saw Councilmember Baldwin, who's the chair of the public safety, writing notes a lot there. So I think she'll work on that. And I can tell you they have a new plan for security at the park.
I'll be talking
this year
about
as
that.
well. So there's a lot coming. So thank you for that. I appreciate it. Yeah. Absolutely.
Mhm.
Yep. Thank you. Anyone else for the good of the order?
My name is Steve McCoy. My address is 16911 42nd Street, Court East. If you know where that's out, I'm outside of the city limits, so I'm not in the city of Bonnie Lake, but I grew up here, spent my life here. First off, I want to confess to you that I've been very ignorant of the significance of what you do as city council members. Even though I've grown here, I just thought, well, it just happens. It's not so. You guys come and you pledge an oath. You swear to us to watch out and try to maintain the area to make it safe for families and kids. I want to say I appreciate what you do. I told somebody recently at a meeting, I said, next time I'm just going to get some new ice picks and poke myself in the eye so I'll have a better time. I don't like meetings. So I appreciate what you do, your commitment to this task. And part of what brings me here is watching the world we live in that has so many pressures on us and their threats. I mean, the southern border doesn't affect us now, but it is. We're restoring police pursuit, which is significant when it's going to help us be safer in our communities. That law goes into effect in about 60 days. And so that'll be something that's part of the task that you take on as city council members to, as you manage the issues in the cities of what are you going to do with the homeless? What are you going to do with these invasion of these people? So those are significant things. And I wanted to thank you for what you do, for your commitment to that, because these, we're in for some rough times ahead as these events get much more significant than I've ever seen in my lifetime. So I am a man of deep faith. I pray for you folks all that you have wisdom in the task that is at hand for the benefit of our community. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else? Not seeing anyone. We'll now start those that are virtual. You'll have 5 minutes. You'll need to state your name and address for the record, please. A delay or something. So, okay. The city will now disable all video and microphones for those attending virtually. We have no correspondence. Next is committee reports. Finance Committee, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Your Finance Committee met this evening. A couple items that we touched on. Of course, we do our personnel update. Brian Sandler's offsite, some training issues, so he was filled in, Chuck filled in on that. We normally give that report to I think all the council, do they get that report that has the same one? They get copied on that. So trying to work on a little more context to some of those issues in there so we didn't know, just because a rec supervisor is open and the city engineer is open, why that is. So try to brush that up a little bit and get some more updates on our website accurately, because apparently some of the information on the website is always hard to get updated, but we're working on getting that more systematic so it's easy to do for everyone. Also, the big one, of course, we did is the rec program, but just a second, because we had a resolution for the MOU for the Family Justice Judson's Family Center, working with those folks in a partnership to get a grant for cyber crimes. Very important issue out there with the new technologies and ways that people are being exploited. So we recommended that for approval, and you'll see that on your next agenda as a consent agenda item. The big item of the evening, of course, for us is always that recreation program, working on all those issues there. There was a meeting earlier this week. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, for attending, and MRAC and several council members were able to kind of sit down with those folks and our Parks and Rec staff to go over some issues. Still a lot of work in progress there. It looks like maybe some abilities for MRAC to kind of take the field sports possibly. That's kind of a interesting area where, we can do community service types events and everything, but we'll see how the mayor's proposal comes out and everything for that, and with the council's interaction. So more to come on that, hopefully in the future. That took up all of our time. We're done.
As it does. Thank you. Community Development Committee, please.
Yes, the CDC met on Tuesday, April 2nd. We meet every first and third Tuesday of each month at 5 p.m. on the second floor in the executive conference room. The public is always welcome to attend. You can attend in person or online. So first order of business was we had to appoint a new chair. So the committee selected Councilmember Fullerton to serve as the chair, replacing Deputy Mayor Swatman. Yeah, thank you. So our first order of business after that was the AB 2426 Resolution 3204 Parks, Trails, Recreation, and Open Spaces Plan Contract Amendment number 2. So the contract amendment would be to allow for the design of a new park space in the downtown area, housing the proposed community center and other improvements currently in the plan for Midtown. So the goal of moving the community the community center to the downtown, which is around here, will provide increased space in the Midtown Park area for additional multi-use fields, as well as more parking for that Midtown area. The CDC approved the contract amendment and forwarded it to the April 23rd City Council meeting as the CDC issue for the council's consideration and discussion. And then we also had AB 25-25 Resolution 3203 Professional Services Agreement with RH2. This is for the Lake Ridge Tank Design Contract Amendment. The committee reviewed an amendment to the contract with RH2 to add the design of the replacement Lake Ridge 748 tank. This is a tongue twister for me. The amendment was brought forward so that the city could move forward with construction of the Lake Ridge 810 tank and replacement of the Lake Ridge 748 tank at the same time as discussed at our March 5th workshop. That's just building both of those tanks at the same time out there at the Lake Ridge area, so that we can save money, time, money, and materials, as well as design. So as the funds for the Lake Ridge 748 tank were proposed for 2026 to 2027, funds were reallocated from another project that is not moving forward this year to cover the expenses. The committee was supportive of the contract amendment and moved forward to the April 23rd City Council consent agenda. And then we approved our minutes. The open discussion was the wastewater treatment plant tour. So for the May 21st CDC meeting will be canceled for the tour of the Sumner wastewater treatment plant tour. The tour starts at 4 p.m. A bus will be leaving from here, the Justice Municipal Center, at 3:40 p.m. And if you are interested in attending, please let the staff know as soon as possible. That concluded our meeting and we adjourned.
Thank you. Public Safety Committee, please.
Just real quick, what day was that again?
Oh, May 21st.
May 21st.
We're going to be canceling the CDC meeting, which is normally at 5.
Okay.
So we'll cancel that so that we can have ample time, and then we will discuss items that we find out at the tour,
Wonderful.
at the workshop that evening.
Okay. Yes, public safety, we met today. But for those that want to come the next time because you missed today, it is May 14th at 3:30 on the second floor of this building. You're absolutely invited. We would love for you to come. And it's always the second Tuesday of every month. We had some reports from East Pierce Fire. Proposition 1 is on the ballot on Friday and it's due back May 23rd. Commissioner Mike Cathy passed away and there's a memorial for him this weekend. And they have 6 recruits graduating this Friday. We had a Bonnie Lake Police report. They have 2 entry-level guys that will be in academy later this month, which is amazing because that wasn't going to be until the summer. And so that's just making things a lot faster. And then we have 2 laterals. 2 lateral officers. Lateral officers are people that have been officers before, and so they'll be able to hit the streets a lot faster, but they are starting Monday. We have CSO, the community service officer, I want to say. Okay, yeah. Oral boards, that was on Friday, and they're looking at about 3 to 4 good candidates out of those oral boards. The prosecutor's office said that they have 13 participants that are currently in community court. And Monday, May 13th, mark your calendars, Monday, May 13th at 2:30 p.m. in the courtroom is going to be the community court graduations for those that have gone through the entire program. And then we had emergency management report. They basically just explained to us in detail what happened with the recent Lahar drill, and how that went. And it sounds like there were just many moving pieces and people that were involved in that. And it was a success and they learned a lot from that. Code enforcement let us know that they have 33 new cases open during the reporting period. And then there was also at the same time 49 cases were closed. But of course, what we really want to know is about Alan York. And the update, big thing is I really have to give it to city staff coming together, really hearing what council and citizens have been saying in regards to the fact that security is just such a big problem at Alan York. We can all agree to that as residents of Bonnie Lake. And so they have a new plan. It's different than from before as we kind of picked it apart in public safety today and looked at it to increase security at the park. The first thing is they have security cameras that they have installed at Field 5. They have been installed, but they're still waiting to connect electricity to them just to have eyes kind of in a little private area there in the back. Neat thing is that we, council had approved 2 extra maintenance workers, and that has allowed for vegetation management for better visibility. So they've done that around the children's kind of park area where all those bushes were where you couldn't see on the other side. But really cool is behind the skate park, there's a utility access road, and police officers weren't able to really drive their patrol cars through there and then look, visibility on some of the trails there. We know like on trails, there's shenanigans, right? So that's what's been going on, but now they're going to be widening that and also clearing it using the maintenance workers that we have instead of having to contract out, which is really amazing. And so then they'll be able to drive all the way through and have more police presence there. Also, we talked about AB 2428. It will be on the agenda under public safety issues on April 23rd for a vote that evening. But it's to renew our contract with Pierce County Security again. Instead of hiring 4 people, we're going to have 2 security personnel, and that's those people that you're referring to with on their phones and things like that. Our use for 2 instead of 4 is for them to be able to just basically, they're going to be counting people at the main kind of opening, and then also where boat parking is. In regards to that, we are going to attempt to do a 250 max cap at the park with someone counting. But the best part is we are going to have off-duty police officers at Allen York. They're going to be patrolling the park and performing various duties around the park, including like once the cap is done. We discussed having that gate actually closed because it is really hard for security personnel to enforce, to residents that are angry, or even people outside that don't want to respect the 250 cap. But if there's police officers there, that's a different story. So, and if I have it right, I feel like it's 4 off-duty police officers, or was it 3? 3. Okay, right. Okay, yes. One of them will be doing ticketing and things like that. Yeah, helping remove cars and things like that. And then the other 2 will be actively moving around the park and things like that. So I think that'll make a big difference, and we're hoping, and of course, the public is welcome to come to public safety and let us more about ideas. We're always open to that. Yeah, and that's it.
Great.
I'm
Thank you.
concluded.
I don't see any other reports. We have the consent agenda. Is there a motion to adopt the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, now we have the main event for the evening, I think. We'll now have our council member vacancy interviews. Please remember that we'll follow the rules of decorum in Article 10 of the council policies and procedures that is for all council meetings and workshops. The interview process is, each candidate up, I'll order each candidate up in the order of the applications that were received to the interview table. Candidate will have 5 minutes to introduce themselves and to give us a little bit of background while covering the 5 questions that were included in the application. The council will have 10 minutes to ask additional questions. Please remember, all candidates need to be asked the same questions. We cannot ask specific questions that only apply to a specific candidate. There are some suggested supplemental questions that are included in the packet for council that they were given. After all candidates have been interviewed, council will go into executive session to discuss the qualifications of each. And council may take nominations and vote or decide to defer until a future meeting. It'll be up to the council. So with that, we're going to have the candidates leave that we're not.
No, they need to,
We're gonna
we
leave everybody in
kind
there
of,
again.
because of the virtual environment that we're in and everybody gets to see everyone, we kind of figured that,
Okay.
we're kind of, there's no way to really,
Fair enough.
exactly. Another question too,
Yeah,
Mr.
please, go ahead.
On the procedure there, because, the odd part of it is, to me, there may be, a specific question that somebody wants to ask a candidate that may not really apply to everyone else. I don't know if the council, can waver a little bit in there, because there could be questions that are applicable to one particular candidate that is maybe not relevant to another candidate at all. So,
I would probably throw that to
Yeah.
the city attorney.
I don't know.
Attorney.
With reasonable variance, we don't want to obviously take up a bunch of time,
Right.
with different candidates or anything, but there could be a particular really important question for a candidate that's just not germane at all to others.
Yeah. Ms. Robertson, do you have an answer
Yeah,
for
Mayor,
us?
I thought I heard my name. Yeah, it's the procedure that Bonnie Lake has used for a long time, is to make everything equal and to ask everyone the same question. It is not a legal requirement under state law, so the council can do what procedures they would like to do, but it does create equity and equality when people are asked all the same thing, and gives the council a chance to weigh everyone against the same standards, but it's the council's choice. This process is very much driven by how you want to do it.
Point of order. I have a question.
4:10.
Yeah, I feel like we should continue with the process that we have. If this is something that we wanted to change, we should have done it before the interview process. This is the day of the interview.
Mhm.
And we have prepared our questions based off of the rules that we have for the city. So for that point, I feel like we should continue on with this, with asking the same question for equity and equality, and make sure that, you know, we follow our procedures as we have them set up. That's just my point.
Baldwin.
I just wanted to ask a question just for the purpose of asking a question. But you were saying that in this one that we are going to not have them walk out, but the reason why we did it the last time is because we had 2 candidates and you would have had an unfair advantage. So why are we?
That are sitting,
There's somebody.
somebody's gonna be
online
interviewing
and-
online. That's,
There's no way
Oh,
to,
and they're gonna hear everything.
yeah.
I
that
understand.
wouldn't be
that.
fair to
I
that
wasn't sure what you meant by
person
online.
to be able to hear, but then the people that are in the room can't hear. So
Yeah, we do have one candidate that is virtual.
Okay, got it. Okay.
So, you know, again, I would reiterate, if the council member wants to make a longer question, it might seem like it's multiple questions, but maybe it's not. So, you know, however that works out, because, you know, remember, this individual you're going to have to work with for 2 years. So some generic little question is, you know, it is what it is. We'll see how it goes, but
So Mayor, this is this is Jennifer Robertson again. I wanted to point out, however, that your rules do say under Article 18 that the council members will ask the same questions of each candidate. So if you wanted to actually divert from that, you need to vote to waive your
Sure.
rules, to suspend your rules, which you certainly can do.
right.
So with that,
Yeah.
do we have a motion to suspend the rules?
Can I suggest something maybe?
Please, go ahead.
Is it possible maybe just during the interview process because I understand what you mean, like in the last interviews, there were kind of some benign questions that just didn't apply and then it's a wasted question. And so I wonder if there is a way that maybe just during, if that somebody happens to have that instance, then maybe the council member can just request that they ask a different question or reword it a little bit differently. I don't know. I felt like that there was just some that they were wasted questions. I would agree with him. Yeah. And I mean, the process of this is to vet who is going to be on council, correct? Yeah.
So, okay, any other
I would
discussion?
be okay with, I mean, I guess allowing a change for this because of the process. I do understand what you guys are talking about.
I think it's more important, it's just a time thing, right? Is what we're is the
Yeah.
concern of, you know, so it doesn't drag on, right?
Mhm.
We're only given so many minutes per candidate, right? Anyway.
Yeah.
And
Councilmember Clemens? Yes.
Mhm.
No? Any further discussion? Councilmember Roach?
I was gonna say, it's been my experience that city governments, county, whatever government, they put the policies in place because they went down a road and realized it was not good.
Mhm.
So they put them there. So just wanted to put the warning there that it could go just fine for this time and the next time, but at some point it could go wildly askew.
Mhm.
We just want to make sure we're thinking,
Ahead.
you know, yeah, what we want to do.
Yeah.
Councilmember Clemens?
So I think I would ask that we review these rules at a workshop and understand, because this is now the second time we've deviated from having members present. And I think the same question actually to every council member gives the last candidate an unfair advantage, right? Because they hear all the responses, they know all the questions.
Mm.
And
Mhm.
and I also don't feel like I think we would have an opportunity to do that, but I agree with Council Member Fullerton. This is probably not the time, or we could debate that here for about 10 minutes before we go forward. That's not a problem. Is it going to be different right now than it would be at a workshop? I don't think so. But I mean, we're changing the rules
No, I
from
I wouldn't do that, right?
the last time. What?
I'm not suggesting we do that. I'm just suggesting that, remember, you're going to have to work with this individual for several years and to ask them some simplistic question. And if that's the only thing you've done, fine. Hopefully the council's done their due diligence and they've done their research beforehand, right? So.
Is it possible at all for the one person that is online to disable his ability to hear during interview questions until it's his turn to make it go back to the way it's been done previously?
And there's no way to do that though, right? Because we've talked about this, right? So it's like, okay, you do that. Here we go down the rabbit hole. Because the people that are outside, and there's one in here, right? There's still public viewing externally to that one person, regardless of whether that people that externally are candidates. So the people that are viewing externally are friends with the people that are out there in the hallway, that are out there with their smartphone, which are getting text to whatever's being, so it's this level. There's no way to like.
See.
Right? Fancy, huh?
Yeah.
Nobody ever texts during a council meeting, right?
Preventing the
Welcome to the
process.
Right? Yeah, that's why we want that cyber crimes thing, right? That's a big thing.
Point taken. Point taken.
Okay.
All right. So with that, I guess, is there a motion to?
No,
No.
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 we'll just,
Great discussion, guys.
we'll drive.
As usual.
Very good. All right. Ms. Levitt. You love it. We'll go first. Welcome. So you get five minutes.
So I'll touch on a little bit about me. I've been a resident in Bonnie Lake
I don't think your mic's on.
for over 25 years. Grew up here, raised my family here. My husband's actually worked for the city for about 30 years. So we've been vested in the community for a long time. So thank you for the opportunity to be here. Why do I want to serve on the city council? So as you probably saw in my resume, I've been in healthcare for a long time. I really love working in the community and I volunteer. And so it's been part of who I am for a long time. So when this opportunity came up, it's a really unique opportunity. It's an opportunity to be able to make a long-term impact, not just a volunteer case-by-case basis, even though those are really fun and impactful. But I think this is something that is in a different level, and I really wanted to explore what that would look like. So my experiences and skills that I think bring to this position and really align really well is my experience in leadership development. I have extensive background in project management and finance, and I do broad scope of complex organizational development. Right now I'm working on some workforce planning projects with my organization. I've also been on a variety of boards and steering committees over the past years, and I really enjoy that work. And I think that would lend itself well to this opportunity as well. In terms of issues in the community that I am passionate about or find interest, I think that there's a lot of things that I'm interested in terms of like exploring a little bit deeper. I think that until you really dig into the data and understand current state, it's hard to say this is my specific initiative that I want to dive into. But I think that some of the areas that I'm very passionate about are community development and understanding kind of the growth strategy, the 1 to 5 to 10 year, what that looks like and how that's coming together. I also would love to be involved in resource allocation, understanding how that strategy comes together as well. Some things that I think have easy wins and maybe could be something that is explored or even invested early on is just communication and some of the communication channels that exist today. I think that is an area where we could really take a look at how to be a little bit more proactive in communication in terms of rather than reactive, and investments in things like social platforms or the intranet, the websites, things like that could really be a powerful tool to get messaging out and just build that community engagement, and not just have people hearing through different, waves, people find information, whether it's social media or water cooler, but really being a proactive approach to communication. And I think that would be something that I'd be really passionate about in terms of, focusing time. I think it's a really great opportunity also that this position allows itself to be a thought partner with the different committees. I think that that's something that would be really, really beneficial to really understand and be a thought partner with those groups to bring that information to the community, as you guys have been doing in the past. So in terms of what I view this role as, I kind of feel it's a little bit of a twofold position. I think this role really is about advocacy with the community and really being their eyes and ears and advocating for the needs of the community. But also the flip side of that, I feel like there's a real need for this role to be a trusted advisor for the city administration as well, and balancing those two. And I think that that is probably a really hard job, but I think that that's something that is really important to take a look at those different things just for long-term growth and sustainability, but also what's benefiting the community as well. So in terms of just obligations and so forth, none at this time.
Start with questions then. Start with Councilmember Hubler.
Thank you for all of that. So my question is, what is appealing to you about a council position and how do you plan to integrate yourself into the community to build a positive relationships?
I think relationship building is probably the biggest part of a lot of these roles, and integration in that sense is just really getting to know people and understanding their work. And so it would make a big difference to get to know the people on the committees, understand what the process is. And I think understanding, getting in front of the data a little bit. I always tell my team the data tells the story. So understanding where we're at current state, what do things look like? Where do I want to lean into? And so it's just really about being curious and building relationships with people and asking questions and not being afraid to ask those questions.
Councilmember Roach.
Thank you. My question is, so there's 2 years left in the term, is that correct?
Mhm.
Yeah, approximately, yeah.
So you're up in 2 years. Do you plan to run to retain the seat? And if so, well, hopefully you do. And if so, how do you win that seat?
It's like 2 questions.
That's a run-on question.
You want to get a two-part question?
It's consistent.
First one to break it up.
I think it depends. I really do. I think it depends. I've been in, corporate leadership and administrative leadership before. I think this is a different field. So understanding what that looks like. My hope and my goal would be to run again. And I think it really boils down to making a difference and building those relationships and building the trust and being that trusted advisor. And so I think that would be the one thing that I would say has to happen. And so if I feel like that, that it feels right and it feels like that's the right partnership, I would absolutely do that.
Mayor Swatman.
Thank you. Thank you for showing up, by the way. Everyone that's put their apps in, that's fantastic. So it's really important to see the level of involvement the community has, and people of your stature and everyone that put in is really great. The resumes are fantastic. It's impressive that somebody with your qualities and everyone that would want to care to come to join us, right? Basically, my single question is, why are you the best candidate? What makes you better than the rest of the candidates? That's, politics is a blood sport, so welcome, right?
Yeah, welcome. For sure. I believe I am the best candidate because I am very transparent, approachable, and also I expect to be held accountable. And I think that that's something that I'm not afraid of and I will honor. And I think that that's something that is really valued in this role. And it's important to have that integrity. And I think that I can live up to that. So, and I think it would just be a really impactful opportunity to make a difference.
Councilmember McClymans.
No, you're not going to
No,
ask.
he's gonna ask.
We were going to object. I object.
Is this the blood part of the sport?
No, best
You can
question.
do better.
We admire you.
You can do better. Thank you for being here. The council is terrific, right? People are very nice. I think we have a very collegial environment. So the question I'd like to ask you is, when we measure our decisions on council, one way to measure them is to measure them versus, is any particular city function becoming, is it maintaining a service or is it becoming a burden? So with that scale, can you tell me when you think a park would transition from a service to a burden?
In terms of, so I think that would probably be a lot of due diligence to understand what has changed and what is being preserved or not preserved.
Mhm.
I haven't had personal experience, but I have seen those types of things transpire. I would probably approach it in a way of understanding what the pros and cons of going either way. If we're preserving an area, so are you thinking of like condemning something or turning it into like a landmark, certain things of that nature? I guess I'm
Let's say we wipe out all of our boat trailer parking
okay.
and we put a burden on our staff to scramble to come up with a plan. Is that a service or a burden?
I think it's if it's a service, the choice should have been made to be a service to the community. So if we're moving a boat launch serves the community and puts a burden on, say, staffing or resources or labor costs, that would have to be something that be looked at, I think.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Councilmember Baldwin.
You for applying and coming. I know it's real scary being over there because I've been there. So really thought about this question. So here we go. Do you feel the government should play a role in charity? If so, why? Yes.
Of sponsorship.
Food banks, just organizations, nonprofits, all that kind of thing. Yeah. Mhm.
I think that there are places for interjecting in terms of, you know, funding and things like that for health and safety. I think those are the areas that universally this group definitely wants to oversee. So I think if there's support that aligns with the way that the city is already being run. So if those groups or those offerings align with the safety and the agendas of what we're already doing, I think it makes sense. Separate agendas, I think, would have to be looked at separately, but if there are things that the government supports, that supports things that are in alignment with what the council and the city is already promoting, whether it's community engagement or health or, you know, child welfare, those types of things, I think it would make sense.
Councilmember Fullerton.
Thank you for being here. All right, so my question is, what research have you done to familiarize yourself with the city council position that you are applying for?
Really just immersing myself in the website and understanding that. That's really where I've come to know a lot of things and just being part of, you know, the community for a long time and understanding some of those ins and outs with the administration side of things. And that's really how I've know and understood how things can work. I think on a technical side, that's probably where I've most.
I think that's it. Do you have anything else you'd like to say?
Extra question out
Our one question.
there. Yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you for coming in. Appreciate it. All right, our next candidate is Mr. Chris Blanco, who I believe is our virtual.
We've seen him before, right?
Yes, I think so.
Oh, shoot. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
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 Great. My mic works here. So, hey,
Yeah,
thank
you're
you, everyone, for the opportunity to speak to you today. I'm on spring break, unfortunately, so I can't be there in person. It just happens to be the spring break for my children, and we're here in Montana in Billings. So, thank you for this opportunity. Thank you, Mayor, council members, city officials, and citizens of Bonnie Lake. Good evening. My name is Chris Blanco. I have lived in Washington my entire life and the last 19 years in Bonnie Lake. My wife is a 4th grade school teacher in the Sumner Bonnie Lake School District, and 2 out of my 3 kids have graduated from Sumner High School. The 3rd will graduate in 2025. I have watched our community grow and prosper, and I am vested in our community. I'm currently serving and have served in the Washington Army National Guard for over 25 years. I believe my experience as a military professional and the leadership skills I have attained will add value to our community government. The discipline and structure the military provided me will help me as a council member adhering to processes, regulations, and law. I understand the need for teamwork and collaboration to analyze problems and develop effective solutions because I have found success in several practical situations throughout my career as a commander in a cavalry squadron, deputy commander in recruiting, and currently as a director of human resources for the Washington Army National Guard. As a whole, the military instilled in me a strong sense of ethics and duty, which translates into a commitment to serve the public with integrity. The reason for me wanting to serve on the city council is because of my aspiration to continue the values fostered from military service in hopes of extending it to public service. With this opportunity and my strong desire to extend my leadership skills beyond the military, I have a chance to represent our community's needs and advocate its interests at the municipal level of government. I would cherish this opportunity to directly influence policies and initiatives to improve the quality of life for our Bonnie Lake residents. It's my goal to make this place where our families feel safe and welcome while engaging in our many city amenities and community spaces. The experiences, talents, and skills that I would bring is my strong background as a servant leader in a variety of staff roles and directorate level positions. My strengths range from strategic and critical thinking, problem-solving skills through collaboration and teamwork, and being adaptable and resilient. Additionally, I know how to be part of a team working towards common goals with a shared vision. For example, my team led a multinational military training exercise, developing strategic and operational objectives and identifying the best way to achieve this with effective communication and interoperability. One particular issue that I feel strongly about is our youth engagements and open spaces. For instance, we should consider youth scholarships, STEM opportunities, and increase youth parks and recreation. Additionally, I believe the city should address fiscal responsibility. A balanced budget ensures financial stability and responsibility to our residents, which in turn supports city services and project development. Another community issue I would ensure is building trust through transparent governance. Transparency and accountability in our government operations allows us to promote safety and community well-being through effective law enforcement and community involvement. With a role on the city council, I feel a member plays a crucial role in local governance, representing the city legislative body. This legislative body is responsible for creating and reviewing the laws, negotiate and approve the city budget, serve on special committees, review land usage and regulate land use, and most importantly, represent the community. As a member of the city council, my work and personal obligations that could hinder me from service to the city is my current obligation to serve our community and nation as a full-time service member in the Washington Army National Guard. But with proper coordination, I can take military leave of absence to account for any time off. In closing, I am humbled by this opportunity to serve our city, and I welcome the challenge to serve in a different capacity. Taking this approach will allow me to further contribute to my community and help others in a meaningful way. Thank you for your consideration. I look forward to this.
Thank you, sir.
I'll hand the mic to you guys. Thank you.
Okay. We'll turn it over to our first question with Councilmember Hubler.
Thank you, Mr. Blanco. I appreciate you being here. What have you done to prepare yourself for a position on this council, and how will that assist you in working with members of city staff while upholding values of the citizens you serve?
The things that I've done is really just relationship building. I haven't really done a lot of city involvement at this point in my life. But really trying to get is really just trying to build relationships and consensus and working towards that.
Councilmember Roach.
Thank you. So I want to make sure that we're appointing someone who's going to be around and will be able to make it through the next election. So the question is, do you plan to run and how will you win?
I do plan to run again. I really got involved when I thought I was going to be the mayor. I thought that was an interesting opportunity that presented itself. But I think winning an election here is like really building trust with its citizens, with the citizens of Bonnie Lake, and just understanding what their needs are and really moving towards those common goals.
Deputy Mayor Swatman.
Thanks, Chris, once again. So you probably already know, right? Why, my question being, why are you the best candidate?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. I got to hear the previous candidate talk about that. And I really think building collaboration and teamwork is really important. I think that's one of my highest qualities of being part of this. And it's really helped me throughout my military career, is really when you run into difficult times, it's the relationships you build and the trust and the consensus that two people can really, or multiple people can really just try to wrap and understand the problem. And just being honest. Sometimes it's really hard, hearing no, or just being, just deceitful. But really just being honest and trying to understand like what the real problems are and trying to come at it with a common understanding and a common goal.
All right. Councilmember Clymans.
Yeah, thanks for being here again. So when you weigh decisions on the council, lots of times you have to ask, is this service a service to the community or is it a burden? And so given that metric or that scale that you would apply to decision making, is there a case can you describe a case in which you would see the park becoming a burden?
Yeah, it was a really difficult question to understand. And I was really trying to think about what that actually meant. And I think it goes back to what was its intended purpose. Why did we do the things we do? Understanding that problem. And really, if it becomes resource intensive, whether it becomes maintenance, those become burdens and costs that we weren't anticipating, or the intended use of that particular space, if that answers your question, sir.
Thank you.
Councilmember Baldwin.
Are we looking like this way? Like we're.
Yeah, I think Keith's pictures, I think comes from there, but.
Oh, really? Okay, well.
Isn't it right there?
Oh,
That
thank
was-
you. Okay, hello, Chris Blanco. Hello again. My question to you is, do you feel the government should play a role in charity? Why or why not?
When you said charity, I thought you also said something about like nonprofits as well.
Yes.
And
Food banks
and the
and
answer
things
is
like that.
yes. And the answer is yes. I think there is a role that nonprofits and or charity plays. And it's really the city or the community to kind of promote that type of awareness and services. As a city, you're resource constrained, which allows nonprofits and charities to also step up in those types of resourcing and fill in the gaps that the city can't provide. So just there's a lot of services that are out there, and just promoting that stuff for citizens to take advantage of is where I feel like our role could play in. I hope that answers the question.
Councilmember Fullerton.
Hi, Chris. Good to see you again.
Hello.
My question for you today is, what research have you done to familiarize yourself with the city council position that you're applying for?
Really, it was just the online research that the city provided, as well as I believe there is a governance page. It's almost like a how-to guide to be a mayor or a council member. That's all get on the website as well. So just kind of just reviewed those documents, and I'm sure there's special trainings that you would have to go to and learn more about the position. But really, it was just online.
Anything in closing?
Nope, I really do appreciate this opportunity on taking it virtually. Not something that I'm used to doing, but I really do appreciate you guys taking the time for this. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right. Next is Mr. Aaron Davis.
Ladies and gentlemen of sort of
Oh, it doesn't sound on.
machine lights on.
Oh, oh.
Is it on?
Hard to tell.
It doesn't sound loud enough.
Speak loud right next to the microphone.
Test?
Oh,
There we go.
okay.
Okay, I'll scoot closer here and try to
Strain your neck.
see what I can. Okay, try this again, take two. Ladies and gentlemen of the Bonnie Lake City Council and community members, let me introduce myself. My name is Aaron Davis. I'm here before you today with a deep sense of purpose and commitment to our beloved city. My journey is deeply rooted in family, community, and service, and it has led me to this pivotal point. Allow me to address the questions that have been posed, providing insight to my aspirations, my experience, and my dedication to the betterment of Bonnie Lake. Firstly, why do I seek this city council position? Well, the answer lies in my passion for this community. Fostered over 30 years of residence since my family's moved here in 1989 and continues to live here where me and my wife raised our two daughters. I'm driven by a desire to ensure safety, prosperity, and a nurturing environment for that all Bonnie Lake families deserve. Actively participating in a local democracy will contribute to these policies that prioritize safety, education, and the opportunity for our youth. My commitment stems from a desire to preserve the unique charm of Bonnie Lake for future generations. Secondly, I bring a set of experience, talents, and skills that are well suited for the responsibility of City Council. Collaboration, critical thinking, communication, adaptability, a commitment to inclusivity. These are my cornerstones of my approaches. These strengths enable me to foster productive collaboration, identify innovative solutions, engage with transparency, navigate evolving priorities, and advocate for the fairness and accessibility of all residents. Regarding community issues, I'm particularly interested in addressing safety, cleanliness, and the growth of infrastructure. Enhancing public safety through technology and infrastructure investments, promoting cleanliness through enforcement and education, and supporting sustainable growth infrastructure are paramount to the well-being and prosperity of Bonnie Lake. Working closely with residents, businesses, and local stakeholders, I'm committed to addressing these issues and fostering positive changes. The role of a council member, in my view, is to represent the interests and needs of our community, advocating for the constituents' concerns that relate to city infrastructure, public services, economic development, and public safety. As a council member, I understand that the primary authority lies with my ability to cast 1 of 7 votes. I believe that in building a consensus and majority through transparency of collaboration and inclusivity, by engaging stakeholders early on and soliciting diverse perspectives and fostering open dialogue, we can work towards solutions that reflect the best interests of our community. Finally, regarding work and personal obligations, I want to assure you that my commitment to serving the city is unwavering. While I transitioned from a successful outside business position to a school teacher in 2016, it was quite a shift for my family, but it was guided through faith and family support that I did this. The decision to dedicate the time to serve this community has been done the same way. I am fully prepared to allocate the time, effort, and energy that is required to serve the people of Bonnie Lake to the best of my abilities. So in conclusion, I am honored and humbled to have the opportunity to present this case to be onto the City Council of Bonnie Lake. My life's journey, experiences, and values have prepared me for this moment. I'm committed to working intensely, representing the interests of our community for positive change to ensure a vibrant and livable Bonnie Lake now and for all. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you. All right, Councilmember Hubler.
Thank you for coming tonight and thank you for your application. What is appealing to you about a council position and how do you plan to integrate yourself into the community to build positive relationships?
What's appealing to me about a city council position is just becoming more involved in my community. Like I said, I've been here for 35 plus years, starting from the age 13 to now age 48. So been here for quite some time. And so I feel like I know the city of Bonnie Lake fairly well, but to integrate myself into the community would be to show my face, to be out there and to be involved, to be the Bonnie Lake Days, to be, at the community events. Even if it might just be knocking on doors and just asking people what they want to see in our city. I think that transparency through the city council and the community is just very important. And that they know who we are and that they know that we're approachable and that they can come to us with their needs and requests and that we will be responsive to them.
Councilmember Roach.
Thank you. So do you plan to run for election and how will you win?
So that's a question, actually, I'm glad that you asked it because I actually thought about this question. I thought that it might be brought up because of the position being filled this way. And what I thought was I would be unsure at this moment to be able to answer that question fully. But I've been drawn and called into, I feel like, more of a public service position right now, and that's why I'm here today. And I see that still moving forward in the future. So I would anticipate that I would run, but I couldn't say 100%. And if I were to run, I think the way that I could win that position was similar to what I said in the first answer for the first question, was being out in the community, addressing the residents of Bonnie Lake, letting them know who I am, what I stand for, and that I'm approachable and I'm willing to listen to people and their ideas.
Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome. Mayor Swatman.
Thanks, Chris. Aaron, sorry. So my question, of course, you heard, right? Why are you the best candidate?
Okay, and obviously we've all heard these questions now, and so I would say, I mean, obviously listening to the first two candidates, I thought they were excellent, and so I might not use the word best. I might use the
We
word,
can only pick one.
I might use the word
Sorry.
right. Okay. Yeah. So I might not say the best, but I think I'm the right candidate. I think I'm the right candidate for this position because of my experience here in this city, watching it grow, working at the Bonnie Lake Supermarket, in the early 90s and seeing the new stores pop up and the growth in this city, playing basketball at Allen York Park for the years that I, was there, and watching the changes just to the lake and to the area. And I just feel like I have a good sense of what people are talking about and what they want to see with the city. So I would think that I am the right candidate.
Thank you.
Councilmember McClymans.
Welcome.
Thank you.
I have a lot of questions to ask you. Am I allowed to ask the same one I've asked before?
I understand.
So if we have a set of scales that is something a service or a burden, can you describe to me when you would think the park would become a burden?
And so again, this is a question that I feel like I have a good experience with because I grew up right behind Allen York Park. I literally lived right next to it, and I played basketball there every day from the time when I was 13 until I was gone off at college and before I came back. And so I've seen Allen York Park go through a lot of changes over the years. And so to see what the services there that it provides are immense for community and for youth. I mean, I know people spend a lot of time there. I think when the tipping point might become where it becomes a burden is when is safety become an issue, and when is safety for the community. When it becomes unsafe for people to be there, then I believe that starts to become a problem if we don't have the resources to then bring that safety back, like you were talking about earlier with adding the police force and capping the number of people. And we're making those steps to keep it a service for the community instead of a burden. If we were unable to provide those things and traffic and just safety and those things started to overrun that park, then I think we would have to look at some, alternative options or things to do there. So that might tip the scales to be more of a burden.
Councilmember Baldwin.
Hello, Aaron Davis.
Hello.
Thank you so much for applying again. Always tough to be in that seat. Same question I asked before. Do you feel the government should play a role in charity? Why or why not?
So I believe it depends on the charity. So I know you mentioned things about the food bank. So charities that have to do with services that the government provides, things that are essential to its community members and its residents, then I can see the government playing a role in that in certain charities. I do also believe that promoting charitable giving throughout the community is an important step. So maybe not in a direct way to the charity, but in a roundabout way of helping put out information about the different charities that are available in your community and the services that they provide, so that people have a better understanding of how these things can help build your community. Because of the finite resources that the city might have, we do need to promote charitable giving from people.
Very good, thank you.
Councilmember Fullerton.
Hi.
Hello.
Thank you for coming. So my question today is, what research have you done to familiarize yourself with the city council position that you're applying for?
Similar to some of the other candidates, I did the research online, and honestly, I had started talking to my wife about 2 months ago about getting involved in public service and thinking, well, maybe I would like to run for city council someday. So what I started doing was listening to the council meetings online. And one of the first council meetings I listened to, the mayor resigned and the council position opened up. So it was one of those positions where I kind of turned to my wife and said, okay, well, I guess I need to apply. So I've listened to some of the meetings and put myself in a position to know that if I were lucky enough to be put into this position, that I would probably need to go back and catch up on some of the previous meetings to be up to speed with everything that's already in play right now in the city.
Thank you. Do you have anything in closing?
I just want to say thank you again for this opportunity. I appreciate it. I think this is great that you guys did choose to, have this open to the public, and I'm just very appreciative for what you guys do for our city.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Next candidate will be Mr. Rod Vincent. Hello.
Hello, everybody. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay. All right. My name is Rod Vincent. I've lived in Bonnie Lake since 2008. We moved here before my son was born. He's now 15 and he'll be driving soon. So that brings me up to do this stuff. Some of the, I read through the questions you guys sent out. I like the questions, honestly. I want to be on the council because I like the opportunity to serve on the council, to serve our community. That's the biggest thing I'm into, is I love helping people. I want to make a difference, to be a voice for the citizens, not so much my personal opinions, but their opinions matter. Experience and talents I've had. It's my resume, and I've been in the restaurant business for 27 years as an owner and as a general manager. So I'm used to dealing with people. I've also, the past 2 years, I've been in the DLC department at Bonnie Lake High School and Mountain View Middle School. DLC's for the special ed kids. It's taught me a lot of patience, and a lot of little things are a win. And I think that's something that I want to keep doing, is making sure we're always winning with those little things. I've also been on the Bonnie Lake Little League Board of Directors for 9 years with Deputy Mayor Swatman over there. So it's a unique situation in that, because I was president during COVID. of the league, and that was tough. But we got through and got everybody going and playing. In all those experiences, I've been looked upon to resolve many diverse situations. I bring my ability to communicate and listen effectively, the ability to network and collaborate, and the ability to compromise and lead. I've had to do all those things in all my jobs and all my experiences in my whole life. Like an example, just today I met with the Sumner School District Athletic Director, the M&O guy, which is maintenance and operations, and our Little League president to try and get a batting cage donated to our schools for baseball and softball. So I've already been networking in the community and doing those types of things. And stay tuned on that. We'll hopefully get those done. Let's see. Community issues. I really thought hard about this one. I don't really think there's a lot of issues. I know you guys know all the issues. I don't know them quite yet. But there's some things I would definitely like to see. I like to see us keep developing our parks. Also like to see us keep developing and upgrading our business sector along the 410 corridor. And what I mean by that is some of the buildings are kind of old looking, and we could definitely use a brush up in that area a little bit. I think it'd be an asset in both those areas, and I also would like to help wherever I can, 100% wherever I'm needed. So I'm a team player. That's what you guys have proven you guys are. The role of the city council member, this is, I kind of leaned on Mr. Swatman over there and asked him over the past 9 years, hey, what's this all about, And he always gave me, clear, concise answers. I've always called when I had questions about stuff, so I already have that relationship with Mr. Swatman over there, just to get, hey, what's really going on in the city council, and I've gone and I've watched several of the videos. I've came to a couple city council meetings, and I think that's important to come and know what's going on in my community. I view the role as a servant leader. I believe the members have to take every consideration how their votes impacts all their neighbors, their families, their friends, the citizens, the businesses in our city. I believe council members need to make calm and make sound, fiscally responsible decisions as well. And as far as any hindrances to this position, like I said, my son's turning 16. He can drive himself places soon, so I don't have any hindrances moving forward. So that's me in a nutshell. Kind of quick, and I'm not a man of a lot of words. I'm usually the guy in the background doing stuff. So this is kind of a new thing for me, but I'm here.
Thank you. Councilmember Hubler.
Thank you for coming today.
Of course.
Councilmember Baldwin and I have both been in that seat. We feel for you.
Yes.
It's a little taxing there. What is appealing to you about a council position, and how do you plan to integrate yourself into the community to build positive relationships?
As far as in the community, I'm already in the community. I'm already doing things in the community. As far as being out there more, I just, being out there in front and trying to lead people more, people seeing who Rod Vincent is. That's something I got to really work on it for sure and get out there and do. What's the rest of your question again? I'm sorry.
It's a big question, I know.
Long question.
How do you plan to integrate yourself into the community to build positive relationships?
Okay. Yeah, I'm already out there. So I think that's my advantage, I think, because I've already been in the community as far as sports go, as far as baseball goes and coaching. I work at the high school. I've worked at the middle school. So I'm already out. I know a lot of people already, and they know who I am for the most part. So I'm already there, I guess. I want to sound confident, but I'm already out there.
Thank you.
Councilmember Roach.
Thank you. And my question is, do you plan to run for your spot once you come up for election, and how will you win?
Absolutely. This is coming at the right time because I was going to wait till next year to even consider this when my son's driving, but he's already going to be driving this summer. So it comes at the right time. How, as far as I'm going to win? Campaign. A lot of campaigning, a lot of going out there and being, hey, this is Rod, vote for me kind of a thing. I've seen all your signs everywhere. So they'll have to get some signs going. That's for sure. But that's pretty much, I'd probably ask a couple of you how you guys won, honestly.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor Swatman.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for coming down, Rod. Just for everyone's knowledge, I worked with Rod on the Bonnie Lake Little League board for many years there, as he was the president. I've been the treasurer on the board there forever, but I didn't ask Rod to apply or anything. He's been pestering me for years about when can I do this? When can I do this? And I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. Anyways. Of course, my question is, why would you be the best candidate? You've seen some of the rest now, so why are you the best one, right?
That's a lot of good people we got here.
Yeah.
I think back to the previous gentleman. The best, as far as the qualifications go and how long your speeches is, that stuff. I don't know if I'm the best on that, but I think that I'm already in the community. I'm already getting things done. I'm collaborating already with people in the community. And I know how to be a team player and collaborate with other people. And I've proven that since I was younger. Not great when I was younger, but hey, I'm getting better at it, for sure. But that's what I would say is I'm good at that kind of stuff.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's our refinements.
So given a set of scales, service versus burden for making decisions about what we do, when would you see the park becoming a burden?
That's been the toughest question. So am I the last one going today?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Because they took all my answers before. Wow. Okay.
Good answer.
I think as far as the burden, it's hard for me to say a park's a burden unless it's not safe. And I think that's what, a couple of them already said as well. It's not safe, and if we can't pay to keep it safe, that's when I think it's a burden. And that's when I would say, that's when I would decide, hey, or I would vote, yeah, we got to do something here.
Councilmember Baldwin.
Hello, Rod Vincent.
Hello.
Welcome. Okay, my question, same one. Do you feel the government should play a role in charity? Why or why not?
So I would say yes. And I think, when you said the food bank, so I grew up eating from the food bank as a kid, getting food from the food bank as a kid. So if we didn't have that in my family when I was young, that would have made a huge difference. I mean, I wouldn't be as, big as I am now. But I mean, that's something I think it was always hard to not have what you needed. And I think it's a good service to have from the city. And I think if we can do, and I'm sure there's some charities out there that, yeah, I don't know if we should do that one kind of a thing, but I think most of the time it's going to be yes for me.
Councilmember Fullerton.
Hi, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
All right. What research have you done to familiarize yourself with the city council position that you're applying for?
The website's one. And then, like I had said before, the great Deputy Mayor Swatman over there, picking his brain.
Thinking himself.
Well, I know.
Find an anchor to yourself.
But I mean, yeah, I know. But I would always ask him questions, how it works. And I came to a couple meetings before, and the Parks and Rec meeting was a couple years ago was packed for sure. A lot of people in here. But I think that's what I've done is I've picked council members' brains and gone on the website for the most part and watched. I learned a lot from watching and listening. So, yes.
Anything you'd like to say in closing?
Thanks for the opportunity. I'm impressed by everybody that's applied. I'm impressed by all of you here doing what you do. And congratulations being the mayor, the deputy mayor, everybody moving the first chair. Yeah, that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next will be Ms. Teresa Karen.
Hello.
My name is Teresa Karen, and I have lived in this area off and on since 1982. Second year graduate from Sumner High School, and a couple of my boys graduated from Bonnie Lake, so I'm very vested in the community for sure. I'd like to express my interest in the position of City Council member within the City of Bonnie Lake and the opportunity to apply my excellent team leadership, visionary, negotiation, and advocacy skills to this honored position. When reviewing the job description, I was thrilled to discover how well my experience aligns with your needs and requirements. I was drawn to apply because of my love for Bonnie Lake. Through the years, I have formed a well-rounded background in building a strong team, refined talents in quality control and critical thinking. My previous roles have strengthened my abilities in problem solving and customer service, including a focused attention to detail and accuracy. I'm thrilled at the prospect of bringing my talents to the City Council position. Why would I want to serve on the City Council? I honestly didn't know I wanted to until I was asked to run for a seat by a few citizens in our community last May. Simply being asked was a great honor in itself, so I didn't take it lightly. I researched what my duties would be, and I realized how my professional skills would play a huge part in protecting and bettering our community. Being on City Council is simply a way for me to give back to the people of this community that I love so much. What experiences and talents or skills do I bring to the City Council and community that I'd like to highlight? I grew up around and have worked in construction for a better portion of my life and career. I've personally been a part of projects from ground to completion and have experience with feasibility, permitting, topography, and plat maps. I gained grant writing experience while working for Waterloo School District in New York. This has given me experience with searching out and receiving grants for community projects. When my experience with writing grants was brought to Council's attention, I was asked to look over the grant for MRAC to partner with the City of Bonnie Lake and happily did so. My experience with real estate and knowing how to grow and protect our land's value whenever potential projects are brought to the Council's attention will be a great value. I also have a lot of experience with team leadership, mediating, mentoring, and negotiations. In the past, I have served on a local school safety council, school district hiring committee, and volunteered to assistant coach for cross country, track, cheer, and gymnastics. I have an empathetic ear for our community as a whole and as individuals. My ability to lead groups as well as follow great leadership in community projects will help me be a great asset. Are there any community issues in which I have a particular interest and expertise? Our utilities have gone up substantially in the last few years. We need to be proactive with keeping our community safe from the rising crime in the neighboring cities, and our kids could use a community center that focuses on them being able to participate because they want to, not because they can afford to. I'm very interested in searching out and helping with grants for our utilities, police, and community projects in order to lighten the load for our citizens and create a safe environment for our families. How do I view the role of a member of City Council? Serving as our city's legislative branch is a huge responsibility. City Council has the power to pass laws and establish policy. In doing so, they must also make sure that such laws and policies do not take away our rights or harm us in any way. A City Council member must set their own opinion aside and do what is right for the people they serve. What work or personal obligations do I have that could hinder the service to city? I'm self-employed and make my own schedule, so none.
Thank you. Councilmember Hubler.
Thank you for being here. What is appealing to you about a council position, and how do you plan to integrate yourself into the community to build positive relationships?
So I really like the idea of being able to just really advocate and fight for our community for things that they need to help with development if needed, or to stop certain development if it would be a hindrance. I like the idea of being involved in that. As far as how would I get involved? I'm already involved in the community. I am in real estate and do a lot of community activities within Tahale and other surrounding areas. And I would just continue to do more of the same, but more on a full Bonnie Lake community area, like the library, things like that, so we can get to know people in different areas.
Councilmember Roach.
Thank you. So my question is, will you run again for the position and how do you win?
Yes, I will. And one of the things I would do is I would ask my former opponent how he won. That's one. Another thing is I would get started a lot earlier. I think that time is of the essence, and the sooner you start, which would be the first day on city council, I think would be a great benefit.
Thank you. Mayor Swatman.
Thank you. So of course, what makes you the best candidate amongst these folks that we have to choose from? Right?
Well, I think there are a lot of great candidates. And so I think the part that helps me stand out a little bit to put me maybe as the best candidate, but maybe not, is my background of being able to not just be out in the community and be a part of the community, but to also be able to be behind the scenes and take care of a lot of the technical things that a lot of people don't know about. A lot of the permitting and
Councilmember McClymans.
So given a set of scales, service versus burden, when would the park become a burden?
well, that park's been there a long time. I don't know that necessarily the park itself would be a burden. I think that if there is a lack in security, that in itself would be a burden. There's a lot of people that come and go, a lot of children that play there, and so you definitely need to keep the crime at bay, but also order. Wouldn't want anybody fighting over the boat slips, so that's a big thing.
Councilmember Baldwin.
Hello, Teresa. Question is, do you feel the government should play a role in charity? Why or why not?
So I do not think that the government should play a direct role in charity. What I do believe is that the charities that are already ongoing through churches and special organizations need the support of the government. I think that if we back them and support them and put the word out to help them, we can let them do their thing that they're good at, and we do our thing.
Councilmember Fullerton.
Thank you for being here. What research have you done to familiarize yourself with the city council position that you're applying for?
So last year, when I decided to run for seat 3, I started attending all of the city council meetings. I made an appointment with the chief of police, the former chief of police, asked him what they needed from us and what was most important to them. I also had an appointment with the fire chief and asked the same questions. And all of the meetings that I came to, I took the time to get to know all of the council members and ask certain questions and made myself available for them to ask questions as well.
Anything to wrap up?
I don't think so, but thank you so much. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
All right. And I believe our final candidate is Mr. Joe Finden.
How close do I need to be to this thing? All right. I first want to thank you all for this opportunity and for considering me for the next council member position. I come before you today with a deep sense of passion and commitment to our beloved city. In 2021, my wife and I made the heartfelt decision to call Bonnie Lake our forever home. We were captivated by its small city charm and immense potential, knowing we wanted to contribute to its growth and prosperity. When choosing Bonnie Lake, we prioritized safety and education for our children, who are now ages 5 and 7 and now attend Liberty Ridge Elementary School. This choice wasn't about finding a house. It was about embracing a community where our kids could truly thrive. And now witnessing their growth in this nurturing environment, it fuels my commitment to safeguarding Bonnie Lake's exceptional quality for all of the families. Why do I want to serve on the city council? My reasons are both straightforward and deeply meaningful. I believe in the power of community and the impact that dedicated and thoughtful leadership can have on shaping our collective future. I want to be a voice for all residents, advocating for policies and initiatives that promote transparency, inclusiveness, and progress while still preserving the charm of Bonnie Lake. Drawing from my experience as a seasoned leader in managing projects, collaborating with diverse teams, I've honed my abilities to listen, analyze, and make informed decisions and find solutions that will benefit the community. My professional background has taught me the importance of communication, compromise, and finding common ground among many groups with varying interests. I am approachable, empathetic, and driven by a strong sense of integrity to always do what is right for our community. When it comes to community issues, I have a particular interest in traffic and road infrastructure, public safety, and promoting economic growth while still preserving our natural beauty. I believe that these are not just challenges, but opportunities for us to come together, innovate, and create lasting solutions that benefit everyone in Bonnie Lake. In my view, being a city council member is about being a servant leader, a bridge between residents and government, a listener, a problem solver, and a champion for positive change. It is about being present at municipal events, participating in special committees, and collaborating to address issues and shape policies that reflect the values and aspirations of our community. I want to address any concerns about my ability to fully dedicate myself to this role. I work from home in a salary role, which grants me some flexibility during the work week. While my commitment to serving the greater good of Bonnie Lake is of the utmost importance to me, I also want to understand that the importance of balancing my job responsibilities with my role as city council member. I am dedicated to managing my time effectively, prioritizing city matters when needed, and ensuring that I fulfill my duties to the best of my abilities while maintaining professionalism and integrity in all aspects of my life. In conclusion, I'm excited about the opportunity to serve on the city council and work alongside each of you to build a brighter future for Bonnie Lake. Together, we can achieve great things and ensure that our city remains a place where families thrive, businesses flourish, and our community spirit shines. Thank you for considering my candidacy and for your dedication to our city's well-being.
Councilmember Hubler.
Of course.
What is appealing to you about a council position, and how do you plan to integrate yourself into the community to build positive relationships?
The appeal to me is something that I've already kind of doing on that second part of your question of integrating myself with local communities. I'm active in social media groups, working with Liberty Ridge teachers. I volunteer at the school for my students, talking to local communities and listening about what's going on and trying to learn more about us as I'm still a newer resident. The appeal is to just do it on a grander scale and continue to build and help be part of the future of Bonnie Lake as it continues to evolve while maintaining the charm that attracted me here.
Councilmember Roach.
Thank you. Do you plan to run when you're up for election, and how will you win?
I absolutely do plan to run again, and I would lean on my fellow council members on what a campaign strategy looks like, as I've not had to do a campaign yet. So I'd be learning from you, but also understanding that as who was prior to me said, pretty much day one is started my new campaign and building the trust among the community, being their voice and their advocate in this role.
Mayor Swatman.
Thanks, Joe. Let's see, I had the, why are you the best candidate question, right?
You did. My best traits here is that understanding that this role is beyond just me and the 6 other people sitting in these seats. It's for the whole community. My professional career, understanding and making decisions that do not impact me, but impacting the greater good and people outside of my direct control, and making those decisions with the best data and information I have present.
Councilmember McClymans.
Hi, thanks for coming. So if you have a set of scales, service versus burden, and you had to weigh those scales, when would the park become a burden?
So I was very fortunate to sit here and listen to everyone have some time to stew on this, so I'm not going to lie. But I was thinking about when I asked my children to clean their rooms. You do it right away, it's not a burden. It's that maintenance, maintaining that cleanliness, that security. If you let it go, if it becomes too much that the town, the city folk, crime, anything happens to it, then it becomes the burden. And listening to our librarian, how the Rotary Club is doing the cleanup on the hill, things like that is becoming a burden to the citizens. If we can help engage and keep that momentum and that maintenance, we can keep it as a service rather than a burden.
Councilmember Baldwin.
Hey, hello, Joe Finden.
Hello.
Hello. Where'd my question go? It's over here. Do you feel the government should play a role in charity? Why or why not?
I do. I think, the government, I've seen it work successfully when I used to work at a radio station and we did a lot of events, much like Bonnie Lake days, engaging with mom and pop shops, engaging with fire departments or other things that help drive that and inspire others, as other applicants have said to me, inspire those donations and have that network of people out there. We have a grand reach and a grand scale that we can go out and encourage others and get that awareness out there. So I think the government, while not always directly being that charity or that open pocketbook can help influence and drive that charity. So having a role in there is very important.
Thank you.
Councilmember Fullerton.
Hi, thank you for being here.
Of course.
What research have you done to familiarize yourself with the city council position that you're running for?
I started watching a few.
Applying for, sorry. Position part.
I started watching a few of the events, just trying to understand a little more. I've reached out and spoke to a few of the council members on the phone to learn more about it, reading the website, also researching and understanding that it's much like our big federal government. There's the multiple branches of checks and balances, so understanding that. So those are the researches that I've done to really try to familiarize myself at the outside looking in, and I'm ready to do it from the inside as well.
Anything in closing?
No, I just really thank you guys for your consideration and your time, and I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we had some great candidates. Whoever doesn't get picked, we do have a planning commission position open, so please put in. We will now go into executive session for, I'm gonna say, make that 20 minutes. Per RCW 42.30.1101H to discuss the qualifications of the candidate for appointment to elective office with action to follow.
Thank you. Oh, no.
Yeah, you missed the real bad.
I want to thank you too. I just cut your husband's hair the other day, Troy. Hi. And you talk with Scott all the time, my husband. So yeah. So thank you too.
I'm doing it. Yeah, we did. The public services department.
Oh, did they?
At least for the next, I took Ryan's.
Oh, very.
The next 9 months.
Well, I was gonna say everything got. We were on vacation.
Yeah.
Zoning and the mayor.
Yeah.
And stuff.
So you want to step out here, we can talk to it, I can give you this. Let's see. Maybe like after.
Yeah.
Good idea.
I thought everyone did great. I know, I was like, nice job. Tried going last.
You guys all. That's what you guys are good, yeah. Yeah. The weird thing is that you're right now, you know, I mean, it's like. Yeah. I think, okay, I want to talk to you, you know, and say, no. Yeah. Yes. So what do you do? I know, I was listening to, I think pretty sure the mayor. I mean, I love everybody on it, everything going on. They need to do something. It's like my brother's on. So it's like, have you ever played, John, you walked out. Maybe like at a, you're like, place on Old Buckley Highway. Wednesday night, I used to go to, wife was a teacher, trivia nights, there we go. And we meet, our team would always win, you want, each of our groups, I was good at sports. Guy who was good here, my wife was good language arts. So everybody was, nobody was great at jack of all trades. And we always won. Movers with professional knew that, they would say, hey, Rich, guess where you're, 80% of the time I know it. Other stuff, my wife would know about so many books. And other people who, that was a football coach. The other one was, his wife was an author of books, right? So we were well in school, so it seemed like we always. Yeah, straight. So you have. You gotta know. Collaboration. Yeah, having technical, so it's kind of weird. There's nobody that's gonna be great on everything, okay? Because we're not gonna answer. Yeah, you almost need, I'm on some of this stuff, you almost need. You gotta read all these codes. They have. Our people. I'll see the need for some staff. But, yeah. The city administration, their big thing is, you don't want to get sued. No, I was in the insurance business. I used to deal with cities all the time. Right away, contractors would call, hey, we need a right away, we'll go to the sidewalk. City of Bonnie Lake wants a $5,000 bond, Most people don't know anything. It's all right. Yeah, he's his place. Negotiators, all the way to the top. I was like, all I can tell you. I guess I'm glad you said this more. Yeah, they were like, really? I'm like, if our federal government ran by my, or budgets and stuff like this. Well, and hey, I wish. I was in business for 40 years. I pay my. I had a free bills. Yeah, but at least. One thing about small government. Get trouble. It is. It's easier going to take that. Yeah, it can be done. I mean. 34.2 trillion. We're gonna be paying them. Yeah, the last guy who was, the last time there was a bad. Remember them. Yeah, I think, yeah, service. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't a fan favorite, but I'll give him credit for that. They all work together, you know?
Unfortunately, yes. I was too young. I mean, it's your quick, I just know the glory of my own. So, it all.
I remember the Y2 scare.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
They made that the biggest scare. I don't know.
My mom had me filling up a bathtub full of water to make sure that. Antivirus on and the phones dropping.
You know what's so funny? Gotta notice they had hackers. Yeah, I had a down in Vancouver, see my brother. I did our part. I did notice from my wife. You wired 96,000. I told money, made so much money, so I had a bunch of money. Wired to my bank. And I get this, my wife. I think it's $91,752 to somebody in Ohio. They go, what are you talking about? Well, with Chase, you have to get two authorizations. So and they do it, you're done. That money's gone. That money's gone. They had already approved. This one is over 50. They had already approved. One person already approved it. The second person was ready to approve it. They never called us. They never. We've been banking with them for 30 years. A lot of money, had a lot of money in the bank. And I said no, so then they kind of stopped it. And then some guy named D'Angelo, they lives in Ohio. And then, like, I was eight times, wiring and bill payment 2,000. And I was on the phone down there with the bank for probably 30 hours. My wife's probably spent 25 hours. You always talk to different people in the fraud department. And, it was crazy. It came from, I'd already always used my wife's online. I had it on my desktop. Password, username and everything. And Chase kept talking me into, you need to have your own. Well, you would think you'd be able to just add it online. Actually, doing stuff on your phone is more safer than every PC at home. Desktop. So how to do that? So I had to call them up, add on, call the number in the back, and do it there. Somehow. When I called the number, somehow the phone, it's not like I looked on the internet and did number. I called the card, somehow that phone call got intercepted. I don't know how. Okay, so they ended up. I didn't realize at the time. Chase was getting hammered with all these. They didn't tell me at the time. I found out about 6 7 months later that they were having all sorts of problems. It was so weird because it sounds really weird. Every time I called Chase, other people pretty much sounded the same questions. One time, this guy had a totally different. I don't want to. It sounds like I'm. When I go on my profiling someone, but this person I got who ended up being on. And he gave me the creep. I knew he was asking me questions. I'm saying to myself, he asked me questions. He was good. This guy was really good. And all I was trying to do was put all my. So I wouldn't have to use the mics. I had to go back into, I was skeptical. A minute, I pushed the button. My thing throws up and an hour later, like I said, 100,000. And we had to close the checking account. Didn't have been there for 30 years. I had to cancel my savings account and do a new one. They made me take away my name at hotmail.com, which I have for 35 years. Do a new one. And I later found out I necessarily didn't have to do that. It made me kind of mad. But anyway, and when I finally came back to Chase, that guy said, yeah, nobody should ask you any questions. By the way, here's a keyboard, put your username and password, and I don't want to see it. I told him what happened. Yeah. The minute I hit that thing, it froze up. So I'm using my business bikes. And yeah, so it was very bad. I didn't, yeah. The Zelle payment, I didn't think it was gonna get back. Actually, they covered everything. No, I know. Here's what. So when I told him, I had a vendor call me up. You're up. We did an audit on this. You paid $503. We're doing it. Well, and I got a check and still making out to me. I did was I knew when I went down the bank, they're gonna have to verify who it was. So I brought the bill of sale when I sold it. Paperwork in the minutes and operations when I was the owner. Yeah, Chase should have had. Had tons of money in their bank, for 30 years, they know my life behind. I go in my gal tells me. Can't do that, it's not established. I would ask them one time, when I can, what's the money? I'm not trying to get the money out. By the way, if it doesn't work, take money out, you know, you guys aren't out of money. So. Because when we talk to Ben, it was coming up. Just so we can't do it. I'd say great, I just opened up an account. Have the old phone. Down on Main Street. Yeah. I walked in the building, she just walked by. It's pretty good. I need to do a favor for them. No problem. I'll just sign up. Go ahead and just deposit. A bank that was probably 1/3 the size. I worked here. So that's why you have to. Let's do that. Why is that statement?
That's why I was like, there's a setup for a jump sample. I didn't know. Well, now I know. Still trying to learn, so.
I've worked here for years. It's a lot better now than it was. Oh. Oh, wow. Okay. That's quick. Yeah. That one, that one is, no.
Oh, really?
If I get the position, I'll understand easier how you. We need another 15 minutes. It'll be a little bit longer, 15 minutes.
And my, like,
I guess if you want to say that way.
For those virtual, council has asked for an additional 15 minutes.
50 cops, even 50.
There's a cop, there's a record.
Council has asked for a 2-minute extension.
To make sure sergeants have a sergeant. And everybody has different ideas. Chuck, really. I like Chuck's idea. I agree with moving the budget. Wants to move the EOC. Want to move the COC over there. Chief agrees with me.
I thought the EOC was in public service.
Technically, the EOC is separate.
Why can't it be at the public services?
Right now it is.
It is right now.
I mean, just from a practical
The
perspective.
only thing that concerns Chuck is the underground fiber that provides all our internet service goes into public services. And then there's an aerial, basically umbilical cord that goes from the public safety building to our building. And if we ever lose that aerial umbilical cord,
Yeah.
then we lose our internet. We can also, another solution is underground. Right, we can underground that line and that solves that problem. So there's lots of different issues.
Yeah.
I agree with, I don't disagree with the training. actually.
Well, no, I look at, because I sat and, hey, dude.
We will need 5 more minutes.
How are you putting up?
Council has asked for an additional 5 minutes.
He comes down to the pool or the bottom feet.
I would say, yeah, I was like, I'm not asking. So he comes down, however, he comes down, the whole building hears him talk. And you know, and I love that because I'm loud too. Yeah. So, again, here, so then the iPods come out. Oh, yeah, because if he's not addressing, yeah. I'll work on it. No, dude, I think.
You have a voice that fills the room, but you need to embrace it.
That's something you can do the coming down.
No, hear me out, hear me out. That is one thing that we loved about Ryan, because Ryan was pretty, he was real person. When you come down, talking with him, then when you come down, there's a question, and then he made it nice. So we appreciate that right now. I'm not saying they behavior, I don't know, but right now we. Yeah, so, you know, So I did volunteer. Yeah.
Really? Is he gonna wear what he's wearing?
You need to get. Hear me out. So they come with me. You don't have to wear this. If we don't go out. We're in the, whatever's called. I know, but you don't need. We're in the, always remember, the Magic Kingdom. That's great. It is Search of June. Which is all well by the hills. And I put it. And so it takes. So we get it in May, and now we're gonna show them the process and what it takes to get it. We picked. Yeah. When I was super the March, get the shitty stuff first. Which is nasty. These interceptors, you have to live. This thing says, I walk. So. You get something. Well, exactly. Oh, you can't be. Right. So you know what I've done? And this was. So there's, you know, right? I'm not right on the road. I don't have road going. But. And then the other side of it. You know. We don't find so much cities out there. The only spot.
My husband did a presentation.
Yeah. So what are you telling me? You know all about it.
I've had so many. When I was.
And that's why I don't even, that's why I don't. And that's why they're like, but. I know. I get that. You try to be. Nobody's bought this.
So cute. Yeah, like, I like it. I like it. Not allowed to, and it didn't matter what I said. It didn't matter. What you said.
Yeah, it's great.
You didn't have to, you didn't.
I know that.
I didn't have to.
Yeah. Mine used to. Yeah, filled up, right? So. Who's the odds?
No matter what.
I've got a meeting, and the back scratch on that. Yeah, that's the only meeting. Oh, you know what it's about? Your buddy up there. Has a Twitter back scratch. They sent me. Yeah. Yeah, like, oh my God. It's like, well, you know, think it was that great song, right? Why I told you. Yeah. Well, Debbie told me late for you.
Read that review many times.
All right. We're back. Sorry for the delay. Shame on you all for being such good applicants. Took a little while to get through. You all did a great job. So now we're going to go around real briefly. We're going to take nominations, and then in the order of nominations, we will vote. So this could take a little bit. So to the council, do I have nominations?
Teresa Karen.
I would like to nominate Jesse Lovett.
I'd like to nominate Chris Blanco.
Any further nominations? Just 3 times. Any further nominations? Any further nominations? Okay, so I think we have 3. We're going to do a roll call vote for each one. So as we come around, so Councilmember Hubler, this is for the vote of Teresa Karen.
No.
Yeah, okay. Councilmember Roach.
No.
Deputy Mayor Swatman.
No.
Councilmember McClymans.
Yes.
Councilmember Baldwin.
Yes.
Councilmember Fullerton.
Yes.
Okay. Since we have a tie on that one, we're going to move on to the next one. This is Jesse Lovett. Councilmember Hubler.
Yes.
Councilmember Roach.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Swatman.
Yes.
Councilmember McClyman.
No.
Councilmember Baldwin.
No.
Councilmember Fullerton.
No.
Okay. We have a tie on that one. Now we'll move to Mr. Chris Blanco. Councilmember Hubler.
Yes.
Councilmember Roach.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Swatman.
Yes.
Councilmember McClymans.
No.
Councilmember Baldwin.
No.
Councilmember Fullerton.
No.
We're so fun. All right. So we've gone through all of these. Let me read what I need to do if there's a tie. So I can ask if anyone wants to change their vote. So on Teresa Karen, does anyone want to change their vote? Councilmember Roach.
The nomination's closed.
Yes, I believe they are. That's. Okay, so nobody wants to change their vote with Teresa Karen. Jesse Lovett, does anyone want to change their vote? Chris Blanco, does anyone want to change their vote? Okay. Do we need to go?
Is there any way to break the?
So what I'm told here is if discuss, so we can go back to executive session and continue to talk and try and figure this out to change someone's opinion, or we can, I don't know if we can open it back up or postpone.
Postpone or, I'd just, Mr. Mayor.
Please, Deputy Mayor Swanman.
Yeah, thank you. Being the council decision, I think it's really important that the council is a bit, comes to some kind of consensus on this type of an issue. So it'd be great if the council members could work to find that consensus somehow. We definitely don't want to make Pierce County make the decision, and albeit that I think the mayor could make a great choice, I would prefer that the mayor didn't make a choice just because it is a legislative decision. So, we all have to work together, and I don't know how we can do that, but I'm willing to compromise somewhere and more than happy to do whatever we have to do to work that out, hopefully.
I mean, you're willing to change a vote somewhere?
Sure, yeah. Obviously somebody's gonna have to change their vote. I'm not fully understanding which one of these that I would have to go to necessarily, but I'm open to, I'm not stuck.
Okay.
Right?
So
Fullerton?
the same as what we've done in the past is we can also go through and talk about why we chose that person, if we want to do that.
Yeah. we can do
I guess would be whoever are the three that got put on there, then we can say why we were the one, why we nominated that person.
Councilmember McClymons.
So can we change the rules and open nominations again?
We can do that. Yes, we can. Do I hear a motion to suspend the council rules in reference to whatever, right? She can give us the language.
I think that's going to be.
Yeah, you could make a motion to suspend the rules in order to reopen nominations, and that needs to pass by a majority vote.
I'd like a reason why.
So I move we reopen nominations.
Second, now you can have a discussion is why. Second.
But yeah, that's why, but I
Yeah,
thought,
discussion on the motion.
Okay, I'm just wondering why.
because we're deadlocked, right?
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
Councilmember Roach asked the question, so I thought I'd give him an opportunity to finish his thought, right?
Mhm.
Did you have a
Yeah.
thought?
Yeah, if the three of these, if we can't get past them, I was gonna offer another name.
That's why. I thought that would.
Any further
I mean,
discussion?
wouldn't we then just go back in there and talk?
Is that nomination though,
We-
somebody that was in the group or whatever?
We can do either, right? We can either stay out here, continue this discussion and reopen nominations. all right?
I mean, we were
Have
having,
a new nomination, or we can go back into executive session. It's really up to the council.
Well, if we're
As you all
discussing
want to.
qualification, I think qualifications are something that's best in executive, is that's, what we have to discuss back there. So, we don't want to, because for the public's benefit, we're discussing qualifications. We're not deciding on who to vote for. And we want to be nice to folks. We don't want to say, well, we don't think that this person is qualified because of X, Y, and Z, or this person is. So that's why it's done in executive session to discuss the qualifications.
agreed.
A point of order.
Councilmember Klein.
There's a motion on the table to either reopen nominations or not. Can we make an up-down vote on that, please?
Is there any other discussion on the motion? All those in favor of reopening nominations, say aye.
Aye.
Those against?
Nay.
So nominations are reopened. So any further nominations?
I nominate Aaron Davis.
Any further nominations? Any further nominations? I believe we can just ask for the vote on Aaron Davis then. So Councilmember Hubler,
Yes.
Councilmember Roach,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Swanman,
Yes.
Councilmember McClymons,
No.
Councilmember Baldwin.
So complex.
I know, right?
Can I say, I don't know?
You were giving me a
I say,
hard
I
time.
don't know. No.
Fullerton,
No.
the same spot we were in
All
before.
right, with more
I
candidates.
think we should discuss it.
Councilmember McClymons.
Councilmember Fullerton, were you suggesting that we have a discussion about how would we frame that discussion publicly as opposed to?
Well, I don't know. It's like when we did the mayor nomination, we were openly discussing why we nominated the person that we nominated, but we can take that into executive session as well for, I just remember having open discussion right in front of the public and everybody. And, but we have not done that in the past, so I don't know why it was done differently for the mayor position. So I think maybe we should go ahead and take it into executive session. However, I believe we'll have to make a motion to extend the meeting.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor of extending the meeting, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Very good. The meeting's extended and that's where we're going.
I would like to ask council or staff if they remember how we resolved the Monroy and Dole stalemate, because we were in a stalemate with Monroe and Dole as well.
Somebody change their vote.
Yeah.
Somebody changed their vote.
Yeah, but did we go back into executive session or did we just keep voting until somebody changed their vote?
think we should.
Was that, which mayor was was that?
That was Mr. Johnson.
So, yeah,
Mayor Johnson.
yeah, he did, yeah, and that was kind of my sidelight of hopefully we won't get to the point where the mayor has a need to make the decision. But we could.
I think we should go into executive session again.
So is there, do we need a motion to go into executive session?
No, you don't. You can just adjourn into an executive session for a certain amount of time to consider the qualifications of candidates for the council vacancy. Just set the time before you go.
Need 20 minutes? 20 minutes.
So sorry. Thank you for this problem.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Council has asked for a 10-minute extension.
That's why I like. Using the same.
Council has asked for a 10-minute extension.
9:34.
Thank you all for your patience.
Guys have your poker face. Yes, ma'am. It doesn't matter.
All right, we're back in session. Is there a motion?
I motion to postpone further discussion until our next meeting, Tuesday, April 16th. Is that, or wait, the date?
Second.
April 16th.
Is the 9th, so yeah.
Cheers. We have a second.
Second, okay, discussion. Oh, all those in favor of postponing, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, it's postponed. You're adjourned.